The green light is not just on. It's blazing a trail through the fog of economic uncertainty that has clouded Iraq for decades. And if you've been waiting for a sign, a signal, a definitive statement that the long-anticipated revaluation of the Iraqi dinar is moving from whispered hope to concrete, crisis-proof reality, then what the Central Bank of Iraq has just declared should be the only thing you're thinking about right now. We have spent years, and let's be honest, years filled with rumors, conflicting reports, and heart-stopping moments of hope followed by crushing delays, a cycle that has tested the patience of even the most steadfast investors. But something has fundamentally shifted. A new chapter is being written in real time, and it's all centered on one powerful, unprecedented concept declared by the CBI itself: crisis-proofing. This isn't just another piece of guru speculation or a cryptic message from a source. This is the official institution, the very entity tasked with steering Iraq's monetary policy, making a bold public declaration of resilience and preparedness, signaling to the world that their financial systems, their currency frameworks, and their entire economic infrastructure have been fortified to a level where they can not only withstand a revaluation, but can thrive because of it, turning what was once perceived as a massive economic risk into a calculated, managed, and now officially declared secure national project. The old narrative was that the Iraqi dinar was too fragile, the political landscape too volatile, the economy too dependent on oil revenues to ever survive the shock of a significant upward revaluation of its currency, that the entire system would buckle under the pressure. But that narrative has been systematically dismantled piece by piece over the last few years through a series of deliberate, strategic moves by the government and the CBI that many casual observers may have missed, but which are now culminating in this powerful statement. Think about the evidence. The relentless push to de-dollarize the Iraqi economy, a monumental task aimed at breaking the stranglehold the US dollar has had on internal large-scale transactions, thereby reclaiming monetary sovereignty and ensuring that the value of the dinar is determined by Iraq's own economic activity and reserves, not by the fluctuating availability of a foreign currency. This was a painful but necessary surgery, cutting out a dependency that was crippling the dinar's potential, and it was done with the explicit end goal of creating a stable environment for a new exchange rate. Furthermore, consider the continuous talks with the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, not for emergency bailouts, but for strategic partnerships and technical support in building robust financial regulatory bodies, modernizing banking protocols, and implementing anti-corruption measures that instill confidence in international investors. These aren't the actions of a country on the brink. These are the calculated, meticulous preparations of a nation positioning itself for a profound economic renaissance, with a revalued currency as its cornerstone. The crisis-proof declaration is therefore the culmination of all this work. It is the CBI's way of announcing that the scaffolding has been removed, the foundations have been stress-tested, and the structure is now sound enough to support the weight of a global currency. This transforms the conversation from if the revaluation will happen to when and at what rate. Because why would the central bank go public with such a powerful statement if the mechanisms weren't already in place and operational? They are preemptively addressing the number one fear of every dinar investor: instability. They are telling you, the global market, that they have anticipated every potential pitfall, from speculative attacks and black market volatility to internal economic shocks, and have built a financial fortress around the new rate. This is a game changer of historic proportions, moving the dinar from a speculative asset, a hope-based investment, into the realm of a strategic, forward-looking monetary play backed by the most powerful assurance an investor can hear: the architects of the system itself guaranteeing its resilience. The green light is on, and it's not a flickering candle in the wind. It's a solid, unwavering beacon on a newly constructed tower, designed to guide the Iraqi economy into its next era and to reward those who understood that the preparation phase was just as important as the final announcement. So, what does this crisis-proof declaration truly mean for the exchange rate you see on your screen every day? The one that has seemingly been stuck in a narrow, frustrating band for so long. And how does it connect to the tangible, on-the-ground economic data that we can actually analyze instead of just relying on hope? The connection is direct, profound, and rooted in the very principles of modern monetary theory, where the value of a fiat currency is ultimately a reflection of confidence in the issuing nation's economic stability, governance, and future prospects. And the Central Bank of Iraq is now aggressively building that confidence brick by brick with every public statement and policy shift. Let's break down the organic data that supports this bold new stance, starting with the most critical indicator, Iraq's foreign currency reserves. For years, this was a point of concern, but recent figures, publicly available through international financial institutions, show a significant and sustained accumulation of reserves, now consistently hovering well above the $100 billion mark, a war chest that provides an almost unimaginable level of backing for the dinar and gives the CBI immense firepower to defend any new higher exchange rate against market manipulators or speculators. This isn't theoretical. It's a tangible buffer, a financial airbag that ensures the revaluation won't lead to a rapid depletion of assets. This massive reserve is directly linked to the second data point, the stabilization and, indeed, the strengthening of global oil prices, which remain the primary source of Iraq's national income. However, and this is the crucial evolution, the government's recent budgets show a deliberate and accelerating shift towards diversifying revenue streams, investing heavily in non-oil sectors like agriculture, industry, and reconstruction projects, which are already beginning to contribute a growing percentage to the GDP. This diversification is the bedrock of being crisis-proof. It means the nation's wealth is no longer tied to a single, volatile commodity, making the entire economy, and by extension the currency, far more resilient to global price shocks. Now, layer on top of this the groundbreaking financial engineering happening with the Iraq Stock Exchange and the government's issuance of sovereign bonds, which are increasingly being seen as viable investments by international funds. This activity creates a deep and liquid domestic capital market, a sign of a mature economy that can self-finance its growth without excessive reliance on external debt, further cementing the dinar's intrinsic value. Furthermore, the CBI's own monetary policy reports now consistently highlight a controlled and manageable inflation rate, a stark contrast to the hyperinflationary nightmares of the past, achieved through sophisticated tools like interest rate adjustments and open market operations that were once beyond its capacity. This control over inflation is non-negotiable for a revaluation, as a strong currency must not be eroded from within by rising prices, and the data shows they are succeeding. Then there is the exchange rate data itself. While the official rate has been stable, the real story is the dramatic narrowing of the gap between the official and the black market rates, a key metric that the IMF itself uses to gauge currency health. Through strategic injections of currency into the local markets and stricter controls on money laundering and smuggling, the CBI has successfully brought these two rates closer together than they have been in years, eliminating a major source of economic distortion and proving their ability to enforce their desired exchange rate across the entire economy. This convergence is a silent but powerful testimony to the CBI's growing command over the monetary environment. When you synthesize all this organic data, the massive reserves, the economic diversification, the developing capital markets, the controlled inflation, and the converging exchange rates, the crisis-proof declaration ceases to be a mere slogan and emerges as a summary of a completed mission. The data paints a clear picture of an economy that has been methodically repaired, reinforced, and readied for its moment on the global stage. The waiting, the analysis, the years of building have all been about creating a set of economic conditions so robust that the act of revaluation becomes a natural, logical, and sustainable next step, not a risky leap of faith. The numbers don't lie, and they're all pointing towards a future where the Iraqi dinar's value is a true reflection of the nation's immense potential and newfound stability. Now, with the path declared clear and the data confirming the foundation is solid, the final and most personal question for you, the investor who has navigated this long and often confusing journey, is what you should be doing right now to position yourself for the moment the new rate is officially announced. Because history has shown that in moments of profound monetary transition, it is the prepared, the informed, and the decisive who reap the greatest rewards. The declaration of a crisis-proof system is the ultimate signal that the pre-revaluation era is in its final chapter, and the window for positioning yourself under the current conditions is narrowing with every positive development and every piece of confirmed intelligence from trusted sources on the ground in Baghdad. This is not a time for panic, but it is absolutely a time for focused, deliberate action and a critical audit of your own strategy, ensuring you are not caught off guard by an announcement that could come with limited warning and could change the global financial landscape for the Iraqi dinar overnight. The first and most crucial step is to ensure your investment is secure and accessible, which means verifying the legitimacy of your currency holdings and understanding the exact process your bank or exchange platform will use to facilitate the conversion at the new rate. This is administrative due diligence that, if overlooked, could lead to unnecessary delays and frustration when the entire world is trying to do the same thing simultaneously. Secondly, you must become a master of discerning signal from noise. In this hypercharged information environment, the crisis-proof declaration from the CBI itself is the highest grade signal possible, a primary source announcement that should outweigh 1,000 conflicting opinions from secondary commentators, gurus, or social media personalities whose timelines may not align with the new, accelerated official reality. Your focus should now shift exclusively to official CBI press releases, verified statements from the Iraqi Ministry of Finance, and reputable global financial news wires that report on hard economic data. Because these are the channels that will carry the confirmed news first, and being glued to unverified rumor mills will only create anxiety and cloud your judgment at the very moment you need clarity the most. Furthermore, use this time to educate yourself on the practical mechanics of a large-scale currency revaluation. Understand the difference between a float, a managed float, and a straight repegging, as each mechanism will have different implications for how and when you can access the new value. And this knowledge will empower you to make calm, rational decisions instead of emotional, reactive ones. Think about your long-term financial plan beyond the initial exchange. What are your goals for the capital? Are you looking for immediate liquidity, long-term wealth preservation, or reinvestment into a newly thriving Iraqi economy? Having a clear post-revaluation plan is as important as acquiring the currency itself, as it dictates your actions in the days and weeks following the announcement. The Central Bank of Iraq has effectively handed you a roadmap and a guarantee of a safe journey. Your responsibility now is to ensure your vehicle is gassed up, your maps are updated, and you are ready to start the engine the moment the final destination is announced. The years of patience are about to pay off, but the final payoff will be greatest for those who transition from a passive waiting stance to an active readiness stance, treating this not as the end of a long wait, but as the beginning of a new and transformative financial chapter. The green light is on. The path is crisis-proof, and the destination is closer than it has ever been. So, take a deep breath, review your preparations, and get ready, because the moment we have all been working towards is materializing right before our eyes, and you need to be positioned to not just witness it, but to fully participate in the financial renaissance of a nation. And to make sure you don't miss that pivotal moment, the one single announcement that changes everything, you need to take one simple, decisive action right now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because on this channel, we are committed to bringing you that official, confirmed news the very second it breaks, cutting through the rumors to deliver the truth directly to you. This is your invitation to be on the front lines of financial history. So subscribe, stay informed, and let's navigate the final steps of this journey together.